Hi, I'm Mike Cuban with G2M Communications. We're here at the Flash Memory Summit 2019. And with me are two very distinguished gentlemen from Solarflare, now part of Xilinx.
I'm part of
Tom
Xilinx.
Spencer,
Yep.
known Tom for a long time, and Scott Schweitzer, known Scott for a long time too.
Thanks, Mike.
So tell me a little bit about what you guys have going on here at Flash Memory Summit 2019.
Well, this is actually a continuation of what we've been doing for the last 3 years. So NVMe OF, NVMe over Fabrics, has been established for quite a few years, and TCP was ratified last year, and Solarflare is an expert in TCP transport.
Excellent, excellent.
Right. So what we've done is we've also introduced application benchmarking on top of that to show the real value of kernel bypass. Because sometimes when it's abstracted to storage, we don't quite get all of it. So what we've done is demonstrated the performance gains of benchmarking real world applications.
So kernel bypass is certainly an interesting technology. Are there any specific types of applications where you've seen it really have a lot of payoff in the testing you've done?
If you look at, let's back it up to the storage side of it.
Yeah.
So if you look at the initiator side, all the compute nodes versus a target array, some type of appliance all flash array, that's where we need the high performance.
Absolutely.
Is on the target side. And so although you'll probably use kernel TCP on the compute nodes,
Right.
you get to the target side, that's where you need to have high performance. So the kernel bypass that Scott was talking about that we do for TCP, that's something that competes with, say, RDMA or fiber channel
Right.
in
Right.
terms of performance.
Very good. Very good. So you mentioned NVMe over TCP. Obviously, that came out about a year ago or so.
Yeah.
How have you guys seen the uptake on that? The excitement in the market?
There's a lot of excitement in the market because TCP is everywhere. It's ubiquitous, right? And if you look at other network transports, they're more industry focused. Things like, you know, Rocky, RDMA. That's an HPC transport, so it's not as
Right.
common in the real world data center. The data center is driven by TCP and UDP, and so by bringing NVMe over Fabrics onto TCP and demonstrating the performance is nearly identical to that of RDMA, we've shown that you can do storage at HPC performance levels, but over standard industry protocols.
And
Right.
yeah, if you look at what's deployed out there today, 98% of infrastructure is TCP based. And so,
Absolutely.
so now you can come in with this new technology. So flash storage already is faster than spinning hard drives. And then you take the advent of NVMe over Fabrics with the TCP variant, you can go into these existing infrastructures and leverage infrastructure that's already out there and get the high performance that you need.
Well, I think that's really important. Obviously, going into existing data centers, right? I mean,
Right.
it's one thing if you want to stand up something brand new, then you can have some of those choices. But most data centers, as we all know, are not brand new. They're extensions of something that already exists. So with NVMe or TCP, you can actually leverage that new reduced latency and increased performance across all your servers, not just a handful.
Right, and the other nice benefit of it is you're using the existing network, so you're not
Yes.
pulling yet another network
Yeah.
fabric and having yet another network group that you have to deal with. Right, it's over, Ethernet, and as Ethernet scales, I mean, data centers today are basically all moving to or at 25 gigabit Ethernet.
Right.
They're moving over the next few years to 100 gig Ethernet, and then 200, 400 beyond that, and data as a function of the storage, data storage just goes on the same network as the applications themselves.
Excellent.
Right? So it also sees a performance
The,
boost.
the other thing that we've seen, if you look at on the storage side, you think of traditional enterprise infrastructure, but we have cloud customers, we have telco customers, we have electronic trading customers, and right now in the industry, everybody is looking at NVMe over Fabrics and all flash arrays, but they haven't picked anything yet.
Right.
And the feedback that we've been getting is that if we can leverage TCP, then it's a lot easier to integrate into their infrastructure. And so, as you mentioned, last year is when TCP was ratified as a spec. Now that it's ratified as a spec, the proof of concept efforts are out there, and the technology is ready for prime time, so to speak.
Yes. Yes.
So now there's an opportunity to go to the majority of the market. RDMA has been servicing a subset of the market, and it always will.
Yes. Absolutely.
Right? There's always going to be a market for that. But now with TCP, we're going to see a much larger deployment.
So,
Okay.
so one of the big topics we've seen, a lot of over the past 12 months are all the different security issues, right? Things like Heartbleed, and then there's Spectre, and all these other things, many of which are processor experts, right? But I think it's heightened people's interest in how do I secure my data within the data center. After all, that's what you're really protecting, right? What have you guys seen in that? Kind of what are your thoughts on that space?
That's a great question, Mike. And what Solarflare is focused on, over the past few years is how to secure the data as it flows east-west through the data center, right? We've developed some technology in that space. We're moving that technology forward with the Xilinx acquisition. And it's really about looking at the network flows, securing the network flows, and making sure that the customers are actually getting the data they should be getting, as well as preventing hackers and those that are in the data center trying to breach the data center from exfiltrating that data from the data center.
That's right. That's right. Excellent. That's really good to hear. Because this is clearly a big problem for a lot of companies. Artificial intelligence and machine learning alone doesn't appear to solve the problem.
No, those aren't going to solve it on their own, right? It has to be done in hardware. And one of the attractors for Xilinx in the Solarflare acquisition is the fact that we can put a lot of this intelligence on top of a smart NIC, and Solarflare is kind of the high performance NIC company. So by putting that intelligence, like machine learning and AI, and all this data management technology into the NIC, we can improve the overall performance of the system.
So interestingly enough, you guys have been working with Xilinx now for a long time. Actually, I think probably 8 or 10 years, maybe more than that.
Well, we had solutions that were FPGA based in the past. Um, in the last 2 years, there's been a determined effort to collaborate on a SmartNIC project. And that led to an acquisition, which just closed last week.
Right.
So now we're part of Xilinx, and we're going to put together the technology from the two companies.
Right. So what you're going to see is the stuff that we're doing with storage, right, eventually is going to get pushed down into the network adapter itself. So the network adapter may eventually be directly connecting with the NVMe storage for overall improved performance.
We talked to one of your Xilinx compatriots a little earlier, and he was talking about computational storage, and now you're bringing some of that computational capability closer to the network as one option in some of the things you're doing. It will be exciting to see what you guys have to show.
Yeah, we're excited to be there. So
It's an exciting time for all of us.
Yeah, absolutely.
if you take the pieces of the SmartNIC that are being done in FPGA and combine that with the kernel bypass technology, you get an additive benefit there.
Right. I mean, you take a look at the Alveo 50 board that Xilinx announced for their show,
Yes.
right? And that's an enormous amount of FPGA power at the very edge of the network. And it's got untapped potential for moving applications into that space.
Well, anything else you guys want to throw in? Things you've seen at the show that look cool, or trends you expect in the next 6 to 9 months that are exciting to you?
I think of course, we're a bit partial, but I expect that the NVMe OF TCP will continue to bring network attached storage to a reality in the real world. I think we're going to see that over the next 12 to 18 months.
Yeah, certainly with every major storage vendor out there
That's right.
now having an NVMe over Fabric capability, and more of them seeming to be migrating toward NVMe over TCP.
Yes.
I think that's
Yeah,
exciting.
and the densities of these boxes. One of our partners has 256 terabytes in a 1U form factor, which when you have densities that are that tight, it really is going to drive network bandwidth.
Absolutely. Perfect. Well, Tom,
Yep.
thank you very much.
Thanks for having us.
Scott,
Mike, thank
really
you.
appreciate you guys being on. And this is G2M Research in the hot seat with Tom and Scott and Solarflare now / Xilinx. Thanks much, guys.
Thank you.
Mike.